guys, Jessica here. I'm going to showcase some of the recent sewing projects that I've completed, and I wanted to start with this gal. This is my winking face Hanukkah, or Hanukkah, I'm not sure how to say it, Minifee. She was a limited release, and then the winking faceplate was like an event head for that release. But I really liked the sculpt, and the winking faceplate. I liked having both of those dolls. But what I really wanted to do was replicate her full set outfit in my color scheme, because it's reds and blacks. The traditional one that she's wearing, based on traditional Korean hanbok, but definitely modernized and fashion oriented is how I would describe it. But basically I replicated it with fabrics and colors that I wanted, and so it is fully lined. The bodice portion of it is, and I think the thing that was the hardest of this whole project was the apron. I made, like, this is probably the third apron portion that I made, because I couldn't figure out if it was a half circle or a partial half circle, and I still don't feel like that part's perfect, but the rest of it I'm really happy with. But she's got little pantaloons that match, little lacy underskirt. This is the skirt of the hanbok, and the little apron, and of course I don't know what the traditional name of this is, but it reminds me of a belt. Here is the back. But I feel pretty good that I did replicate it pretty closely. It's got the lining here with the white, a little bit of white. I love how it peeks out and then tapers here. Hopefully you guys can see this well. It looks out of focus to me, but it's hard to tell. The little bonnet. And I have a couple pairs of these Minifee Mary Janes. They were available for a long time on the Denver Doll website. I don't know if they still are, but they come in shiny patent leather and this more matte, which I prefer the matte. So I made everything here except for her stockings. I have some material that I want to make her some socks from. I don't know, I'll come back to it, hopefully. But yeah, this girl has a face up by Amadez, and I definitely would love to send her some more dolls eventually. Just so afraid of shipping dolls with current conditions. But yeah, there she is. And so then I wanted to make another outfit, another Minifee Hanukkah based outfit. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to put on her underpants. She does have some underpants that go with this outfit, but I forgot to put them on before the video. This fabric was gifted to me, oh, what is her name? It's, She Likes What, I think, like in reference to that she likes dolls. But she sent me some, a very, very nice gift package, probably, that's definitely been over a year ago, and it included this gorgeous, gorgeous fabric that I knew I wanted to use for something special, and saved it, and then thought of this project and knew I wanted to use it for that. And I had made it initially for, with the idea that it was going to be for a Minifee, and then I decided to put it on. This is my Twiggling Mini Pieta, or Artifacts Kindred. She calls these mini Kindreds. I made a bunch of these little masks last April when we were home because of the pandemic. I would like to do some embroidery on her belt. I still would like to do that. But this is the skirt of the handbag, and then there's the underskirt, which I utilized this lovely embroidered lace. And then there's some bloomers or underpants that go with this as well that are made out of this particular purple fabric. And she doesn't have the magnets in right now. But I had paired it. There's like one magnet still there. The other one slipped out of place. But I took some photos of her wearing this is the Minifee Maya crown. It's like a Russian crown, which I can never remember the name that they call it. It starts with a K, I think. But yeah, it's a Russian crown. I think it looks really beautiful on her. So she's got one of my favorite colored wigs made by Amadez Beauty, and her face up is by Amadez. Oh, don't let me forget. A lot of my dolls have these. I'm absolutely obsessed with these little miniature resin Tamagotchis that Amika Miniatures makes. She has an Etsy, so definitely check that out if you're interested. This is the larger size, and she makes a smaller size too. Yeah, this doll, she's definitely one of my favorites. I've had her now for 2 years. I was just looking, I got a reminder on Facebook or something about it, and so yeah, this exact color isn't available anymore. It was the limited from the new foundry in Spain, and then things after that kind of fell apart when the pandemic hit, and she's moving the Mini Kindred to Dolls Casting Service. But I simply cannot wait. I need to start saving up money. I simply cannot wait for the Mini Kindred to be casted by DCS. Their casting is gorgeous and amazing, beautiful resin, and amazing fantasy colors. So yeah, I know I will I will want one of every color of the fantasy colors at least. And this is my only mini Pieta, so I definitely want some more mini Pieta. And definitely interested in the other sculpts. Oryx and Nikuru, probably my top 2 favorites that I'd like to see made into Mini Kindred. Okay, who should we look at next? How about my Amadez Beauty girls? I don't think I always meant to make a video. There was a ASMR-esque silent, no talking video of opening this girl, and I posted photos of her. But these are Amadez Beauty Menu girls, and I saw these girls for the first time. Amadez Beauty, they are a couple, a married couple, and they actually immigrated from Russia, and they live in my hometown. And I think it's pushing 3 years now that they've been here. But anyways, the first time they came over, we had a little doll meet, and I think they were bringing me some wigs. Yeah, that first time they were bringing me some wigs that they'd finished, and they brought some samples of Manu, and I was in love, and I knew that I wanted her in a fantasy resin, and so eventually we moved forward with that, and I got my gorgeous teal girl. And then I knew immediately that I wanted one in purple too. And so Lavender Storm was born. But their outfits, for people who have watched my Instagram and YouTube, have seen these. I made a bunch of these kind of outfits for my menage-a-nu. Every menage-a-nu and my mini Kindred, I made a series of outfits, all different colors, but the same patterns. So the bralette and the little striped bloomers, and every stripe is sewn on, so I could use exact colors that I wanted. And there is a hidden zipper in the back, because they're relatively fitted. And if I didn't put in a zipper like that, then I would have to put in a stretchy waist, and I wanted a flat waist for these. So I don't know if you guys remember that, but I've really been into the beading, and so I did a bunch of beadwork on these. So this is my, I never did do a video showing all of the knitting that I did, but I definitely spent most of the latter half of 2020 and the first half of 2021 knitting. I did a lot of Fair Isle style double-stranded colored knitting, a bunch of sweaters, but these were the leg warmers that I made. So these are her ballet feet, and they're blushed. I'll show you the blushing on my Lavender Storm. But yeah, this was a custom wig, and the last custom wig that Amadez Beauty was going to make. They're only going to do stock wigs now, which I think is a good move for them, because trying to meet people's expectations for exact colors and stuff was turning to be more and more stressful. So, but yeah, this one's especially precious to me because it's pretty much going to be the last like custom. So, and you may notice that it is very similar to some of my other wigs, but I really love these colors. Her eyes are small iris eyes made by a shop. It's called By Victoria Shop. It has Victoria Shop, and it's by or the something like that on Etsy. Very tiny small iris eyes that are really economically priced. So highly recommend them. I've had 2 orders from them now, and always been surprised how speedily they arrive. These were in stock eyes, so not custom, but they were in stock, and I believe they're either in Russia or the Ukraine, is my memory. And typically anything I order from those countries takes a month or longer to arrive, but each time it's been around 2 weeks for those eyes, so highly recommend. But yep, she's got an ice cream cone and a little mini Tamagotchi. Yeah, this is Lavender Storm. Oops, sit down there, sweetie. Wearing her little striped bloomers. Maybe I'm too close. I feel like the light, like it was dark. I hope that this is gonna turn out. But they brought her to me. They actually delivered her to work, to my work, which they wanted me to have her as soon as possible, which was so sweet. I hadn't even finished paying her off all the way, and they really wanted me to have her. So they know where to find me, right? But yeah, here is her outfit. I actually made them some dresses as well, and I'll show those here in a bit. But these, they've already, I mean, I've only had them a few months, and they already have several different outfits that I've made them, as well as, which I forgot to bring down, all the sweaters that I knitted for them. All kinds of sweaters, Fair Isle style sweaters for them as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed the beading, trying to find an excuse of what I can bead. Let's see if I can show her gorgeous feet. I need to try to get some good photos of them, but the blushing is just like, here's her little vein coming down. Just gorgeous blushing, gorgeous, gorgeous. She can wear the shoes made by, oh my gosh, it's like Tot something. I've ordered a few. I think all the shoes I bought from them so far have been in stock, and now I have an order that I'm waiting for of some custom colors of their Mary Jane's made for Pitchka doll, Laura, that you do have to stretch them out a little bit, but they do fit the menu, and so I have several of those on the way. I want to do a photo shoot with the SK Couture roller skates, and I need to. I told them that I was going to send a link, and I need to do that for Amadez Beauty. But yes, the USD sized skates fit these girls really great too. So yeah, I eventually want to do a photo shoot with them, wearing those skates and the leg warmers. I love the ballet feet, so right now I'm enjoying them in the ballet feet. She's got the green eyes. Yeah, I forgot the tangent. So they had brought her to me in green eyes with this light pastel green wig, and I love that mix. The purple with the green is just so perfect, and it's not something I'd never. Well, that's not true. I mix green and purple all the time in clothes, don't I? All the time. But giving a purple doll green eyes just really didn't. I didn't think of that. But I love it. I do prefer small iris eyes, so I got several different shades of green eyes to try out on her from By Victoria Shop on Etsy. And yeah, I really love how she looks. And I hope that this is showing up and that you can see what I'm showing you. Oh, let me show you her very adorable. These are the latest ones I bought from Amika Miniatures. They're like pastel rainbow Tamagotchis. She hand cast these herself in resin. And the little buttons are resin, they're not painted. Like, these are so well and amazingly made. It's hard for other people to get them, I think, because I always buy them all. I love them. My little collection of miniature Tamagotchis. Okay, who should we look at next? I'm saving these gals for last that you probably can't see great. Can you see this guy? No. I don't think I ever showed this guy in a video. Oops, his bracer fell off. I need to put the laces back on it. To lace it and keep it on place. I didn't make this. Nezimutu, I think, made it. I think, yeah. But yes, this is my Raccoon doll elf Kai, and I did a box opening video on him, but I don't think I ever came back with him like wearing anything. And I completed this outfit shortly after he arrived. A pair of trousers that I would like to remake these in a more pastel-y color. I want to remake his whole outfit in more pastel-y colors. And I have some fabrics that I ordered for that, so it's just another project I want to do. Okay, I'm going to put that away so I lace it on. But you might notice his giant ears. Ozzy sent me these. They came with his, it's a wolf centaur made by Dream Valley, and they're pretty awesome. They're pretty freaking cool. I think they were limited. They tend to come back with their limited, so you have multiple chances. But pretty cool doll, pretty awesome doll. But he wanted to use Minifee, the Minifee bunny ears on his wolf centaur, and so he sold these to me, which I was so ecstatic about. Because I remember seeing that doll and being like, I want those ears, but I didn't think anybody would separate them, and sell them. So that was pretty fortunate. I'd love to get them blushed to match his colors, and yeah, I really love them on them. They're so big and tall. I just think they're freaking awesome. But yeah, his outfit, the I don't know, the robe and the underrobe are basically replications of the outfit that he came with, but just remade in fabrics and colors that I preferred. I tend to do that a lot. I've noticed I'm getting more skilled at, if I have a piece of clothing, I can replicate it. It's harder to do it just from pictures. I did that with, to my best of my abilities, from photos I could find of the, what's her name? Lunella Moonbeam. I love her full set. If I could get a hold of her full set, I've never even seen it for sale. I've only seen expired ads for it, but I did attempt to make it myself based on photos in fabrics of my choosing, so slightly different colors, a few years back, and one of my Mary Doll Round big girls wears it. But yes, I feel like I'm getting pretty skilled at that, and because there's a lot of outfits that I really love, but the colors are not right. So I like being able to make them in colors that I do like. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting better at replicating things. I just went out of my brain what her name is. There's a YouTuber, a BJD YouTuber that she has a bunch of Volks dolls, and she makes amazing outfits from them based on like, what are the Japanese or Korean rock stars? I forget what they call them, and the name for the different, but they have different outfits, and then just mainstream designers too, that she will replicate their outfits for her dolls, and I always thought that was really, really cool, and I wanted to be able to do the same. So I feel like I'm pretty good at that now, and I feel like I'm rambling, but yeah, I can definitely, if I have the piece of clothing in my hand, and then I can make it a lot more exact. If I have really, really good photos of the different pieces, then I can sometimes manage that too. But here's his Tamagotchi, which might match him a little bit too close. He is wearing a pair of small iris eyes, made by Bessia, and her Etsy was Enzo Doll Eyes. Enzo with a Z, and I think that she's a tattoo artist, and I think she's kind of retired from making doll eyes, but for years she was like the only one that I could find anyways that was making these high quality small iris, small tiny eyes, like 8mm eyes and 6mm eyes that were beautiful. So he's wearing a pair of those, and I have a bunch of her eyes that she's made, and I really treasure them all because she's kind of not going to do it anymore. Oh, I forgot to show that I did line this. The one, it's not lined. The one that is that he came with, he didn't come with it. I had to buy it separately from Raccoon doll, but it was made for him anyways. But I lined it because I don't like seeing the inside seams in a coat, jacket type thing like that. So, yeah. Okay, how are we doing here? Kind of doing this in one shot because I tend not to be able to upload long videos as well. But here's a couple of little dresses that I made. Oh, somebody lost a shoe. There we go. My Merry Doll Round Pygmies have had so many outfits and clothes made for them, but I love sewing for these little dolls. They are, I love the little dolls. Portable and sweet, but let's see here. So here is my original first Merry Doll Round Pygmy. She's a dango in cookie skin, and I love the colors with her skin tone, and I did some beading on it. It's got these little ribbons, silk ribbons. I have so many sewing supplies. Oh, she doesn't have snaps. I remember now that I was out of snaps, and I ordered some snaps. I finished this and went to go find some snaps to sew on there, and didn't have any. I have bunches of snaps now, though. I ordered several from different places because I wanted them to arrive as soon as possible. And then I never did put her snap for the back of her dress. But yes, this is my Merry Doll Round moose. I would love to have another moose. I only have one moose. I have 2 dangos, the aqua and the cookie skin. I have multiple bunyals. I've lost count of how many bunyals I have in both amethyst and that dark, I think she calls it darker chocolate or something. It's a really, really dark skin tone. But yes, I would love to have a moose in some other colors. If she released moose in fantasy colors, that would be amazing. I kind of haven't been keeping up with what she's working on. I know she's got some dolls that are in between size of her pygmies and her juvenile size, and so that's exciting. We'll see. I always love her work, so I'm sure I will love those dolls too. But yeah, if she released moose in a fantasy color, I'd be all about it. She's definitely, I would say if I had to choose, that the bunyal sculpt is my favorite. But yeah, it's hard. It just depends, it just depends on what fashion you're doing and stuff. But yes, this is a gorgeous wig that was made by Serendipity Dolls, and I tried to commission her for another set of wigs, But I think life has kind of gotten away with her when the pandemic hit and everything, so I don't know if I'll ever end up seeing those wigs. Seems to go that way with wigs. I can name off 5 people off my hand that I paid money to for wigs and never saw the wigs, which is kind of sad. I tend to just keep hoping that maybe they'll show up someday. Some doll will wear them for sure. But yeah, I love my moose. And the cool thing about both of these 2 gals is they are on the original pygmy body, which I still really like a lot. The bunyal body is pretty adorable, and I do like how slim. What is it? Oh, it just went out of my brain. What she called the other body? Shoot. Yeah. Oh well. But yes. Here they are. Both of these wigs were made by Serendipity Dolls. They're alpaca wigs. Really gorgeous. Okay, kids, let me put you over here. Okay. Here is my gorgeous Pitchka doll, Laura. I absolutely love this doll. This is one of my most favorite dolls. Favorites. She needs to get off for a face up. Yeah. Ever since the pandemic, I have been wary to send any dolls out, but I'm starting to get more and more like, I really want them to have a face up. But she's got some new eyes. She got a pair of green Victoria Shop eyes. I think the color really suits her. I wanted to make her an outfit out of the Dupani silk a dress, but I wanted the more muted colors, so less saturated, muted colors. It's got a pair of matching bloomers. Of course, she's got her little Tamagotchi. She's wearing a pair of shoes made by, I will try to put a link in the bottom. It's Tot something, and she's from Russia. Yeah, love her shoes. They're made out of real leather. Very nice, very nice. And she's wearing this pale purple, pale pink Amadez Beauty Angora wig that I just love. Love. There she is. Yeah, so it's got beading, lace, bunches of silk ribbons. All right, here is my Jolly Rogers doll, Octavia. And she is a really gorgeous purple resin that has a lot more magenta in it and more pink. I think my other purple dolls, especially when you put them side by side, you can see the difference that their resin is, they're purple resin, but it leans more towards the blue end of the spectrum. This girl definitely leans more towards the pink end of the spectrum, and I love it. Love it. It's a super gorgeous color. I don't know who casted these dolls. But the artist lives in Italy, and this poor girl, she was a victim of the pandemic in that her shipping was delayed for months and months because of what was happening. They were in lockdown. They weren't supposed to leave their houses. But she sent me photos of her. She did her face up. And she definitely was a doll that unfortunately got, I didn't bond with her as well. She arrived like a week or 2 after Toby's unexpected death, and I was still in the midst of taking care of Olive, who was basically in hospice care. and a lot of stressful times with her, where we thought, okay, this is her time, and then she would rally. So it was just very emotionally taxing. And then on top of that, all of that, after 6 weeks at home, we went back to work, and I was working an extra day a week. We were trying to catch up with all of our patients that didn't get care for those 6 weeks we were gone. And it was super stressful. We had some staff turnaround. I lost my technician that was the main person who helped me, and I had a bunch of new people that we were training that had zero experience. It was stressful. But as a result, some of the dolls that arrived right in that time, they just didn't get the attention that they deserved, which was unfortunate because they were a lot of beautiful dolls. But yeah, it felt good to make this girl an outfit. There are some underpants that go to it. These were from another outfit, but I couldn't find them. I think they got stuck. I think they got put in a stack of fabric, and so I need to go look through to find them. But yeah, there are some matching bloomers that go with this, and she's wearing a pair of these SK Couture skates that she can wear, that Manu fits great. Little big for Laura, for Pichco Dolls Laura. But yes, she's wearing, as I ordered so many different of these green and blue shade eyes from Victoria's shop. Oh, I want to show you her adorable little elf ear. You can see that. Yeah, she's a sweet little doll. Well, let's look at these two big Twiggling girls here. Let me grab a drink of water first. Okay, impromptu break. Okay, let me. This is the only thing I grabbed really to show some of the knitting I'd done, and it's not even a sweater. It's the only skirt that I made. I made tons and tons of sweaters, but this is the only skirt I made. And there's some leg warmers. They actually snap up to make it easier to put them on. And I had wanted to maybe use them as bracers, but I ended up making them, I don't know, too long. I didn't like how they looked like that. So they're socks or leg warmers for her. This was a blouse that I made several years back, but it goes really nice with the outfit. She's wearing a gorgeous Amadez Beauty wig. Her face up is, oh, you can't even see. Her face up is by Red Iris Atelier. Yeah, Angsty Penguin. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful necklace. I'm addicted to these necklaces. If I could get another one. I have two of them. She calls them Versailles necklaces. Oh shoot, her name just went out of my brain. Oh no. Again, I'll try to put a link to it. Shoot, my memory. Just right on the tip of my tongue too. She's got a manicure actually done by, oh crap, it just went out of my brain too. It's a face-up artist that usually will only do dolls that are realistic, like Dolce type dolls. She did open up recently and was doing some Minifees. God, what is her name? I love her work though. But she painted, I sent her a gamine, and she painted gamine, and then I sent her a bunch of hands, and so she did the blushing on these hands, and I remember I didn't even give instructions anything about colors for the hands, but by serendipity she painted this beautiful teal that matches her face up perfectly. So that, yeah. I think that's one of the things I don't like about sending a doll out is trying to write everything out. It just seems to take a lot of time, and I find it stressful for some reason. I know a lot of face-up artists they want as much information as possible, and I understand that, but I definitely, like, if they will go with, here, do whatever you want, I like, these are the colors I like, different palettes that I like, go for it. Most of the time, that's fine. I'm usually gonna like what happens. So here is, she's actually my newest doll. Lavender Storm Manu, and then a week and a half later, my Nikaru, Lavender Nikaru, arrived. And this last weekend, I fully sueded her with suede. I think this is the one, yeah, here. You can see all of her joints are sueded. You really need to suede these girls. If you don't suede these dolls, you just aren't going to have, you're just not going to have a good experience. They don't stand, they don't sit. They're meant to be sueded, and if you don't suede them, then you're just not going to have the full experience of what these dolls can offer. But this is the outfit that I just completed for her this weekend as well. She's wearing one of my favorite Amadez beauty wigs. And of course one of these Versailles necklaces that are just incredible. So this is the first time I've made the striped shorts, which every stripe is hand sewn on, with the hidden zipper here. Hidden zipper, little butt crack, boop. This is the first time I've made them for the big girls. And I think what I would prefer is even more tailored instead of having a little bit of ease. I would prefer more tailoring, and I think it would look cuter on them even shorter. So up there like that. But and it's the first time I've made this style of bra for a bigger doll. I did a bunch of embroidery and beading on it. This underbust corset type situation here, I actually made this a few years back, but what I've always wanted to do was make an outfit that had the shorts and the brassiere, and then complemented with the underbust corset. So kind of like a corset, but in two separate pieces. I've seen lingerie type pieces that people have made for Minifees, which I can't remember any of those artists, but there's they make them for a lot of fashion dolls too, and I really love that. I really love that aesthetic, and I want to do it in my style. So this isn't perfect, but that's kind of what I'm going for, and we'll probably make some more tries for other dolls. It's hard to tell because of how foofy her blouse is, but this is my purple resin ingenue. This blouse is pretty poofy, but she has the huge bust size, the biggest bust size, and this bra in no way, of course, fits that. So I want to work on a pattern for one that will fit the big bust, and potentially see how it would look over a blouse like this type of situation, because I like being able to see the work on the top here. I love how the waistband turned out on this, and so I'd like something that made that easier to see. So maybe a bare midriff so you could see that. I have so this is my latest sewing project, this girl right here. And so I have rediscovered my love of sewing for the big dolls because of you can squeeze in so much more detail because they're bigger. The smaller they are, the more I like the challenge of sewing for a small doll because you have to, it's like a puzzle that you have to figure out. How can I achieve this without it and minimize bulk? So I like that challenge. And I feel like I'm better at dealing with that challenge. But yes, being able to cram in so much more details is fun, is really fun. So like I said, I've kind of rediscovering my joy of sewing for the bigger dolls. Shoes, by the way, because people ask me a lot, for the big Twiggling girls. These shoes offered by Dollmore, they're for the, I think they call it the model dolls. But these come in purple and blue, maybe some other colors, but they fit Twiggling girls perfectly. So she's got a pair of the blue ones. Yeah, they fit the big Twiggling girls perfectly. And I don't have the bootlet ones, but I do want to get a few of the bootlet ones to try them out. Honestly, the shorter legged girls I think look better in strappy heels. Bootlets tend to accentuate and make their legs look shorter and out of proportion, and I don't like it. So I typically will put strappier type heels on them. Okay, I think this is the last doll. Last doll, but not last sewing project. There's a few dresses I want to show. Okay. Last doll. So, she needs to be sueded, and her strings are very floppy, so she needs to be restrung. This is a fairy line body. It's very, very floppy. It definitely needs to be restrung. But very, very, very good. I thought that I was going to, okay, let's see, I'm thinking so many things at once. Anyways, these legs, these are the Minifee, oh my God, it just went out of my brain. I've been saying that a lot, haven't I? But these were the fawn legs and it was meant for a male doll. I still would really hope I can get a hold of someday the doe legs. They're more feminine, and but that being said, I really love the sculpting. I think that these are more interesting from a sculptural point of view than the doe legs are, and I have no problem whatsoever utilizing them for a female doll. And let's see here, and I do have, long time ago, when somebody was selling the pelvis piece that you can switch out so that they can fit the female body. I have that, but once I tried it out, it wasn't a big deal to me. It wasn't a big deal as far as like that this bothers me enough that I want to take apart these whole things and try to restring them. I think it fits fine. And then if they're wearing anything at all, it covers it. She's got a really, really awesome tattoo, and I forget the name of the artist who did that tattoo. One of these days I want to try to design a doll that shows that off more. Anyways, this face sculpt, this was See the little tail? Little tail. These were Menonginue striped shorts that fit her relatively okay. She can't really sit in them. They're a little too tight. She can't sit. Yeah, the little jointed fawn tail. I just love it. Love it. Oh, the sculpt. The sculpt is Minifee Lua, and it's the lip biting sculpt. There's another one, which I forget the name. It's the recent one. I think it's the one that came with the doe legs. That she's like sticking her tongue out or something. She's doing some other facial expression that I love those. When I saw those sculpts, I was like, so if I can find one of those on the marketplace. But yeah, this was like my birthday present to myself. I ended up getting two pretty cool dolls shortly after that. But I was like, I'm just gonna look through the market, and I had like a limit in mind for the amount of money that I would spend on something. And I saw this head and was like, yep, let's do that. Really, really love these. These are amazing. These are freaking cool as heck. And I did try it out with I tried the body out with my, I made a Menonginue head, soul doll body, Fairyland Centaur hybrid doll. And so I tried the upper half on these legs, and it wasn't bad. It was okay. It was all right. But I think I would like to fool around with putting a different head on this. I have a really awesome artist head that I got from Roter Vogelwogen. I'm sure I said that. I'm sure I massacred that. Bird. I think she goes by Bird. She sent me a head. It was an artist doll head, and it has an amazing face up with this mustache. It's so awesome. I think it's a Cumberbatch. The guy that played Sherlock Holmes. I think that's what the head is. But it fits a Minifee boy body really good, actually. And so I would like to get a hold of a tan. What's the new Minifee body that's more long? That just went out of my brain too. So I would like to get a hold of motion line, that's what they call it. Preferably a tan motion line, fairy line body, so I can use the upper half. But honestly, if I can find one for a good deal and it's the whole doll, I'll just restring it. Like it's doable. I've done it. It's a pain in the butt. And it's hard to take them apart. You don't have the nice little clip mechanism, but it's doable. And so, yeah, I'm on the lookout for a tan male motion line Minifee body to make a hybrid with that Cumberbatch head, which I think would look pretty awesome. But this is what she's wearing clothes. These are various things that I've made over the years. Nothing new here clothes-wise. But yeah, she has this is the default face-up, which is, I think it's gorgeous. I have been so impressed with the recent face-ups that the last 3 years or so, the last year I wasn't into collecting their sculpts as much, but for a while there, I would buy the heads on the marketplace, on the secondhand marketplace that had the default face-ups, and I was collecting those because I love the face-ups. Were just gorgeous. They were just beautiful. Sometimes people are kind of weird about how they view company face-ups, like a robot did it or something. That's not true at all. I mean, it's an artist who sat there and did that line work. And to do it so well over and over, that's an artist. That's a face-up artist that did that. It's still an artist face-up. A robot didn't do it. I think some people get confused about how it works with smart dolls. Smart dolls, they use different masks and then paint through the mask to get the different components of the face up. And as far as I've seen, there's not a lot of actual like blushing component. It's pretty, I consider it to be pretty graphic in style, you know, like there's no gradation, it's solid, you know. They do some really cool things that make it look like shadows and things like that, which I like, but it's a very graphical type style. But anyways, beyond that, these Minifee and all of these other Dollmore and all the other companies sold all that. That's an artist that is painting those dolls. I have 2 Granado dolls and relatively smaller company, pretty tiny. Husband designs, sculpts the dolls. Wife paints them. So if you have a Granado doll with a company face up, it was probably painted by his wife. So yeah, definitely not nameless, faceless people. So just, I do wish Fairyland would maybe give more credit to their face up artists. I think Volks does that, and I appreciate that. I think that's pretty cool. Okay. Well, a few little things, and then we'll wrap this up. My amazing Harpy doll by Huis Doll in Russia. This doll's incredible. She doesn't fit any of my current patterns, and so we're still working on designing her something, and so I was hoping that this would fit her, but it just doesn't have the right lines. I don't think it looks good. This was a pattern I made for a USD childlike 1/6 scale body. So the thing about this doll is that she does have she has a big circumference around her chest. Her boobs aren't massive or anything, but her chest itself is pretty wide around because of her anatomy here with her wings and stuff. So yeah, I'll have to custom make something, and I'm still just kind of deciding what I want to do. I'm kind of leaning towards something like I did with Nikaru here, with the brassiere and then an underbust corset that pairs with that. And then as far as, she can't wear pants really, but I did want to do something. I wanted to do some ruffles down there or something. But yeah, so no progress with an outfit for her, but here she is. She's amazing. I did figure out her wig. She's got magnets in her wig, and the horns stick directly to that, which is really cool. Really awesome. I love this doll. She is always sitting next to me with my sewing. I have taken so many photos of her, like looking at my sewing. I have a few photos of her on my finger. So I need to just start posting photos multiple through a day when I'm inspired to do it. I always feel like for some reason that's bad to do. You should only do once a day or once every 12 hours. Otherwise they're gonna dock you for spamming. But you know, who cares? I just want the pictures up. It makes me feel good. I feel like I'm documenting what I'm doing. And then if other people like it and enjoy it too, then all the better, I guess. So we're almost done. I have just a couple more dresses to show. Oop. I was like, don't trip on that cord. And then I did it. This was a dress that I recently made for Bunyal, that goes with these adorable shoes that I got. It's got the beading. But yeah, here is just dresses. I made these dresses, let's see, this was the first one that I made, and it was for my menu, and it was a little bit bigger, so the subsequent dresses I made the bodice just a tiny bit smaller, but yeah, all the beading. Let's see. This is the bodices are always lined. And I always hand sew this in the inside part, and I will always usually do I like the look of a over sew stitch here, but yeah, I always tack this down with hand stitches. I like it to be tidy, and I especially at the smaller the scale you're working at, I just haven't found a way to do that without hand stitching it. I made this one, and I think it looks great on both of them. Same deal with being lined on the inside. Got some decorative silk ribbons, this crisscross pattern, lace and beading. They all have that. Oh, here was the pair of bloomers that went with it, that go with it. And then this dress I made for what I got my lavender menu. So this was her first official thing that I made especially for her, and the little bloomers that go with it. But I really liked how the light green looked with her skin tone. Really lined. There was a beaded brassiere top that went with this too. Yeah, here it is. I made this initially for my menu, for my lavender menu, but it was too washed out, the colors. I should have reversed this. I should have made this all the light green and then this part in here, because this lavender color just washes out with her own color. But I was trying it on some other dolls, and this actually fits pretty decently on a Minifee with the smallest bust size, which is pretty flat. It actually fits that, so that's cool. But yeah, these dresses fit a bunch of my dolls. I've tried them on various of the 1/6 scale mature dolls, and some of the childlike bodies too. It has enough leeway. It's not so tailored that it can fit a variety of dolls, which is always nice. I like being able to make something and that I can use it for different dolls. Let's see here. Anything else? I'll just show this briefly. This is the only doll here that is wearing one of my sweaters, and this is actually not one of my favorite ones, but she's here. I made so many sweaters, so many of these sweaters, and I didn't make any for an SD, and I still would like to do that. I never even put a snap on that, but it should have a snap to go like that. And I really like how the neckline turned out on this one. Yeah, I made so many of these. I was a knitting machine. And I think that this, I forget, Cascade 2020 fingering weight. I forget what size needles I was using, just went out of my brain. Yeah, shoot, I can't remember. Otherwise, she's wearing a Raccoon corset and some 9/9 style jeans that I really like on her. I need to pay off my, I don't know what they call the darker resin, but I have this is a Sanity, no, this is Nerve. This is Nerve, and there's the other sculpt that she came out at the same time was Sanity, I believe. And I have a dark resin Sanity that is almost paid off, and so hopefully I'll be able to bring her home soon. But this girl's pretty special because she has a face-up done by Pasha. So, very special girl. Of course, she's wearing an Amadez BB wig. Yeah. Okay, all right. I think those were all the things I had to go over. I think we're just over an hour. Sweet. Okay, well, thanks. If you got all the way to the end and watched all of this, thank you. I hope it wasn't too boring. Yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. Apocalypse here, smoke, extremely hot weather. We have a hot weather warning, excessive heat warning most of the summer. This last day has been relatively nice, so it's been a nice reprieve. But yeah, hope you guys are all well, and that you're surviving the apocalypse as best as you can. Keep on sewing for dollies. Okay, bye guys.